Everyone, welcome to Anarchapulco TV, your home for the world's premier Liberty Conference. I'm your host, David Rodriguez, and today we have another special guest who's going to be speaking with you in just a few months, right around the corner here at Anarchapulco in the warm climate and the sands and the oceans of Acapulco, Mexico, from February 13th through the 16th. Very soon, very excited. And so, as you know, we have many stages. We have the crypto stage, the health stage, the main stage, and we have the family stage. I'm so excited about helping to manage and produce this stage with the team members behind me. And so our guest today is Ms. Brittney Fischbeck, and she is a relationship coach. She's also a contributor to HGTV and a spiritual guide. I'm so grateful she's going to be joining us here in Acapulco. And so we want to learn about who you are, Brittney. Some of us don't know the audience members because this will be your first time here to Acapulco, although you've known about it for a while. So if you would, maybe just share a little bit about who you are, and then we'll discuss what you're intending to present in Acapulco.
Yes, great. Thanks, David. I'm super excited that you invited me to the event. I'm really looking forward to spreading my message out to many more people. And I just think you're a really cool guy, so I'm glad to be in your circle. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, well, I'm a relationship coach. I'm a spiritual guide. I'm an HGTV designer. I've been a designer for many years. And you know, I've always been a helper. You know, people have always been drawn to me, and they pour their hearts out, and I just seem to be sort of an activator and a spark. And about 10 years ago, I really started jumping into the relationship stuff, and I wasn't even doing it as a business. People would just refer their friends to me because they knew that they were getting sound advice and it was working for their marriages and their relationships. And so, you know, I just did it for fun, you know, as I'm designing. And then about 3 years ago, I joined this mastermind group, and they're like, well, why aren't you doing this so you can help more people? Like really doing it, like dig in. And I was like, I don't know. So then I did, and here I am. So, so I bridged the gap between dating and relationships 101 and then spirituality. So that's
cool.
in a nutshell. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And so, you know, you and I have been friends for a while, so we get to kind of, you know, have some nice conversation about relationships. I've learned some stuff from you. I said, man, we got to get her on the stage because, you know, this is the 6th year we've held this conference in Acapulco, and it's grown, you know, 150 people and 350 and 600, 1,200. Now we're over 2,000 people here because people want freedom, right? And some of the people watching are aware that the state is egregious. They're forcing vaccines on children. They steal, you know, a third of our income through taxation, which is theft or robbery and extortion, and they mass murder people through war. And we're just like, we're tired of it. And so through these ideas of anarchy, or maybe a more softer term is voluntarism, which is just every relationship should be voluntary. And that's really it. You know, you have a non-aggression principle, and, you know, you have a self-defense principle. If someone attacks you on your person or your property, you can defend yourself. And so I think rather than the left-right paradigm of politicians, these ideas are exciting a lot of people, and a lot of young men were coming in the first few years, and now there's some single women that are coming too. And so the question is, like, how can we either find our lady or find our guy and just learn about the other sex, right? About what their interests and the dating, you know, philosophies or strategies, because we can't do it alone, you know. And this is why we have you on the family stage, is because it's a family, right? And there's nothing more powerful than a man and a woman together, united for a purpose or for freedom or to build a legacy, something that they love, and they love each other, and they understand how sacred this life is, you know. And, you know, through the school system, we feel like our life doesn't matter. We don't have worth. We don't have self-esteem. However, once you do the work, as you've done and I've done and am doing continually, we realize, like, we matter. And the people watching this video at home, if you're watching this on Anarchapulco TV, you matter. You get these ideas. You're a conscious person. You want peace for humanity, peace for yourself and your friends. And how lovely it would be if we had a partner, whether short-term or long-term, to, you know, be part of the journey with us and to experience love and to express love and, you know, all the challenges that go therein. So maybe just starting with maybe some advice, or maybe what you intend to speak about here in Acapulco. Dating, we could probably have a conversation for 10 hours. and still not scratch the surface because they're dealing with relationships. But what do you think is a good place to start in terms of maybe what you're going to speak about, or how you kind of initiate between couples or single people that may be looking for their spouse or their partner?
Yeah, well, I hope you got all that. I hope you recorded all that, because that was amazing. And you're so right. You're so right. And this whole thing is so in flow with where I am in my life right now, even down to the evolve, slogan for Anarchapulco 2020. Because as you touched on, like, it does all start with us. It does all start with the family. This is exactly where it starts. And it's amazing to me that people put all this time and money into, buying the perfect car or buying the perfect house and all this stuff, but they're not worried about how they're dating. They're not dating, or they're not, out there dating, or even in their relationship consciously. They're not consciously navigating things. And you absolutely have to. It all starts with us. This is the evolve message. I mean, right. I started out with, just teaching like the dating nuts and bolts and relationship nuts and bolts. But over the years, it's evolved into a more spiritual outlook on it, because, and by the way, I do both in the, I'm going to be speaking about both, because you need both, because things have gotten so crazy over the last 30 years that men and women, or however you identify, they don't really even know how to do this anymore. It's like, the roles are ambiguous. What can I do? What can't I do? It's just like, there's all these different rules, and, there's a simpler way. There's a simpler way in dating, really, but then on top of it, there's a spiritual aspect too, which, it's not necessarily about the other person. It literally does all start with us. And when you were saying earlier, like about, I think defenses or whatever. I mean, having boundaries, like, this is a defense. I mean, it's the anarchy and whatever you were, I don't remember all of it, but it was like, I was like, wow, you got some nuggets in there. But, so I bridge the gap between dating and relationships 101 and spirituality to teach you how to, because you want to take the anxiety and you don't want to be attached to the outcome. Being attached to the outcome and having expectations are where you can get into trouble when you're dating and you're having relationships. It's, so, and it just, again, it comes back to us. You have to be solid. You have to have a steady foundation. And, I teach people how to heal themselves so they can do that. I teach people the red flags on what to look for. In a relationship, like when you're dating, like things that you might want to dig into further with that person. And then I kind of just give like a blueprint on, how the first year of that relationship should look. And, just some like tips on, how to get the girl, or, how to not turn off the guy inadvertently when you're just trying to help, stuff like this, just simple things. It literally, the problem is that our physiology and our biology has not caught up with society and the massive shifts we've made over the last 30, 40 years, 50 years. And it's, people are just confused. People are hurting, and I want to help people. So.
Right. No, you're right. Because of the technology revolution, we have access to information, and you see like Instagram, like perfect people, and you think like watching movies and this is perfect. And what I noticed, like, I was raised with my mother and my father, and they love me and I love them, but they bring their own upbringing, their own relationships into their upbringing, and relationships upbringing me. So, I'm in my 30s now. And so as I asked my mom about her, upbringing, and watch how her parents interacted, and like, did they express their love? Did they, were they affectionate? And same thing with my father. And we're starting to realize, as the more conscious we become, my, temporary conclusion so far is that one of the key purposes of life is to experience love and to give love and to express love. But then if we don't know about it, right, we watch the Hollywood movies and we think, it's just to, get the girl and then that's easy. It's like, no, that's not it. Maybe you're familiar with the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And it's like, it's like saying that we're from different planets. And so I'm curious what your thoughts are on that, because we do look similar, right? We have the bodies, the male body, the female body, but then inside there's a different emotional life, and men have different, I think, probably natural desires or preferences, and women might as well. So how would you, maybe we should start with like, maybe women, what do women know that men should know about women? Can we start there?
Sure. Here's a big one that people are floored when they hear, which is kind of interesting. But so women fall in love with their ears and men fall in love with their eyes. So what does that tell you as a man? It tells you that you gotta, you want to tell her, you want to paint the picture of what sort of life she can expect when she's with you. She might not care as much as, what you look like or what kind of clothes you wear. Let me just, with a little caveat, feminine energy falls in love with their ears. Masculine energy falls in love with their eyes. So, and that's not gender specific, and that's cool. But you do need one of each in a relationship, in a romantic relationship, to create the proper polarity, to keep the heat, to keep the, that tension, to where there's that sexual polarity. So, it's funny because, guys will send like, sexy pics to women and they're thinking they're going to, snag this gal. Like, it doesn't work unless she's a masculine woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is cool. It doesn't matter. Energy is energy. It's just, but you just have to know, you have to know who you are and what you want. And then you find that person, and then it's almost like, what I really love is I love a lot of communication up front. I even love to the extent of where there's almost like an unwritten contract about, I'm going to do this and you're going to do this, and this is what we're going to both provide for each other. Because, when you commit to the relationship and not the person, there's a higher success rate, because you're treating it like any of your other important things in your life, and you're really committing to it. Because a lot of times the relationships just fall to the wayside, because if they're kind of just running, especially with men, something's running itself and it's okay, you don't put attention to it. A lot of times men don't put attention to something unless it's like on fire. So, and the problem with that is that as women, we can run on empty for a long time, but when we don't feel desired by our man, or we're not getting the attention, or he's not telling us the things that make us feel good, we lose that little bit of fire in us. And that's what he needs from us, is that light and that fire. So he can experience his life in technicolor, not black and white. Yeah, that's a great point. And one of the things you mentioned that was really powerful is about the healing aspect of it. So I love that you recall the theme of evolve. It just happened to be behind me, but like, we do got to evolve, from our wounds, from our trauma. The state has traumatized us. The parents have traumatized us a lot of times, family, media, corporate marketing. We feel inadequate. What would you say to somebody like, because a lot of people like get into relationships unhealed. So is there any like inner work that you've experienced or recommend people go through to heal themselves? I mean, maybe like, I don't know, meditation or transformation or some type of work, or is it just, starting to love ourselves? I mean, what type of insight would you have about like learning to heal ourselves before we get into a relationship? Right. Well, I have a lot to say about this one. But yes, absolutely. You must, it all starts within. You must heal yourself first. And it's the inner child work, and it's the shadow work that has to be done. And sometimes it's painful. But if you want a conscious relationship, and if you really want to have an amazing connection with your partner, you just have to do this. Now, you don't have to do all of it up front, because some of this work, there's no other way to do it except for in a romantic relationship. Like, you have to have someone mirroring you. You have to have someone triggering you. You have to have someone making you angry, because then you see exactly inside yourself where you have work to do. Because again, it's not about the other person necessarily. So, I do retreats on this. I do coaching. There's so many modalities that you can use to heal yourself. There's there's hypnosis, there's of course coaching, there's even on a physical level, essential oils, crystals, meditation, EMDR, tapping. There's so much available to us now that when you are ready to heal, boom, it's there. I mean, it's just pick the way you want to do it. And, you know, and then this is where it helps to have a conscious partner, because, or when you take it a step further, when you're in the relationships trying to heal things like maybe abandonment, you need someone, like, let's say when you're dating, that maybe is going to like not call you for 24 hours, or, you know, after the first date just disappears, like ghosts you. Like, this stuff is really painful and it hurts. And I help people understand why it's happening. The thing is, we are perfect. We are all perfectly imperfect. Like, we have everything inside of us that we need. But we just don't realize this. We think we need other people for things, but we don't. So, yeah, it's important to heal as much as you can before you try to link up with someone else. And, but you know, there's support out there. There's so much support, and we're in an amazing time. It's, I just sorry. Oh, my phone just rang. Okay. Sorry.
Reconnect this. Yeah.
So all right, that's probably the point.
Yeah, very cool. So yes, I love what you said also about like not have attachments to the relationship, right? Like one of my mentors said, you know, there's nobody who can complete you, right? You have to complete yourself, and I have to grow for myself, and you have to grow for yourself. But in life, you know, we find this partner, we'll have somebody to kind of go on with us, carry on with us, and we can grow alongside each other as we each pursue whatever purposes or dreams or goals or aspirations that we have. And just communicating that up front, I think is a really powerful aspect of it. Because in my experience and talking with other people, it seems that couples, they don't last for a couple reasons. And I'm curious what your feedback or comments might be. There's political differences. There's differences on money. There's differences on child rearing, and differences on religion. And so I try to understand those up front from the lady, and just to get an idea, like, is this going to work or not? And then, like you said, trying to be authentic and honest in the beginning too, and saying, this is what I'm after. Do you find that those are reasons why relationships don't last? Or what do you find to be some of the key reasons why couples that really love each other and they're conscious, still they can't make it to the finish line?
Yeah, I think those are things that definitely come into play. Some of those things are more things like in the beginning, but I feel like honestly, the reason that most people split up is because they just are not consciously doing their relationship. They're not waking up every day thinking, how can I make my partner's day better today? You know, how can I make myself better today? And then just like a lot of couples just don't have fun together. They just literally don't have fun. The kids come first, which in my book is a no-no. I mean, you have to, like, but, you know, everyone has their own beliefs, and that's cool. And I can work with people's beliefs, but, you know, for me, I feel like, you know, it's easy for a lot of, let's just say moms or the person that's in charge of the child rearing to have the kids be the main focus. Cause let's face it, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, and they need us. But you know, you cannot neglect your partner. Like, you just can't. Like, men need to be nurtured. You know, for a man to actually find a woman and like her enough to want to give up his freedom and settle down, it's such a gift to us. You know, it's a huge compliment, and it's something that I feel like a lot of women don't really honor, and they don't protect that bond. And you know, I'm not saying men are perfect and women aren't perfect either, but you know, it's just, there's like a lack of attention to the relationship. And then on top of it, like you said, people are bringing into the relationship their past, all of their traumas, the way they were raised. Like, maybe they were raised by a single parent and you were raised in an intact family. And so you literally just don't even understand each other, like, on that level. So this is why you have to talk about this stuff up front. And then it helps you to navigate the waters when it gets tricky. Because after 3 months is like, boom, that's when most relationships end, because that's when the hormones stop pumping as much. And all of the, the real the real you comes out. And that's when people, and that's the time precisely when most men go, oh my God, I really like her, I'm out of here. Because they don't, they might not want to, or be ready to commit,
Right. Yeah, it is. That's interesting. You say 3 months. I've noticed kind of like 3 or 4 month time period as well. There's like either attachment, or you realize this relationship's not going to work out. And, you got to speak truth about that. And that can be very difficult. So, well, it's really nice to share some time with you here talking about these topics. Like I said, are very exciting for me, very interesting, I think, for a lot of our attendees who are going to be there in February. And any closing thoughts that you want to share with them, maybe what you're thinking about speaking about, or any just like closing thoughts before we end this interview, and then we'll see you in February.
Yes, I'm so excited. Closing thoughts. Well, I'm super excited. Can't wait to meet everyone at Anarchapulco 2020. I was really thrilled that David asked me to speak. And anybody has questions, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer anything. I love you guys. I want love for everyone. I want healing for everyone. And I want to help you guys learn how to find love and detox your life and design a well-lived life, whatever you need.
Absolutely. And where's the website where they can find your stuff?
It's abalancedconnection.com, abalancedconnection.com.
Very cool. Yeah, so we're excited to have Miss Brittney Fischbeck joining us at Anarchapulco on the family stage. And so come listen from her, learn, and also in your own life, whether you're single or you're married or have a couple in a couple relationship, we're always growing. And as you can tell, she has a lot of wisdom and insight to share with you and with us. So we're grateful. And hey, we're building this Anarchapulco to keep growing and expanding so that we can spread freedom and peace worldwide and help empower you and take responsibility for your life and really become your own leader, right? Because anarchy doesn't mean no rules, just means no rulers. And so, we still have to lead ourselves. It means self-rule. And so we're grateful you're going to be joining us. And you watching, we hope you'll join us too. It's on the sands of the warm ocean, right from the hotel. You can literally go like directly in there. It's going to be all on site. We're going to have musical acts, stages, a talent show for the kids, a lot of exciting things for the whole family. If you're single, if you're interested in Bitcoin, blockchain type stuff, it's going to be available for you. And you're going to meet awesome, cool people like Brittney and thousands of people from around the world who want freedom. So I hope to see you there. So keep spreading the peace, the love, and the anarchy. We'll see you soon in Anarchapulco. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.